It's time to find out
What Shane said
with Shane Manila.
So last week we were looking at running back scoring for first year running backs, rookie running back scoring. And what I did is I looked at Draft Capital to see, based on Draft Capital, what percentage of running backs hit certain marks. For example, I wanted to see how many first round running backs hit 10 points per game, how many first round running backs hit 12 points per game, etc. Through 18 points per game for each round, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. Did not look at UDFAs because I didn't. I just wanted to look at Draft Capital. Generally, UDFAs in our drafts, in our rookie drafts, we're getting as free agents too, or late fourth rounds of our rookie drafts. Anyway, so what I did is, again, I looked at I looked at 186 running backs. Yes, 186 running backs drafted from 2015 to 2023. Anyone that identified as a running back, not a fullback, DL, but a running back. First thing, if you don't remember, last week I talked about 9% of the running backs that took a snap in their first year didn't do so in the second. They never played again, or they weren't running backs after that first year. Again, some players might have been drafted as a running back, DL, and then just switched to DL or something to that effect. I don't know. Just I went through it. There was most of the time it was players that were due to injury. Once in a while, you found a player like Darius Geis. It was for other reasons. Anyway, a lot of preamble, a lot of rambling. Let's just get to the point, right? So 10 points per game. First rounders in the second year of their career scored 10 points per game 86% of the time. So there were, again, 14 first round running backs drafted during this 9-year stretch. 12 of them were able to give you 10 points per game. Second round running backs were able to do so at 84% clip. And that's a pretty significant jump from their first year. In their first year, second round running backs gave you 10 points per game 65% of the time. And then it dips after that. Third rounders did it 37% of the time. Hi, Caleb. Fourth rounders, only 9%. And here's a theme we're going to see as we go through this, and I'm going to be redundant. Fifth rounders actually outproduced fourth rounders. 25% of the time, a fifth round running back will give you at least 10 points per game. That is significantly higher than fourth round running backs. It's also significantly higher than sixth round running backs, where one dude did it, and seventh round running backs that did it, three of them. So 18% of the time. 10 points per game in their second year. That's not very sexy. We're just going to move on. We'll move to the 12 points per game. Here's where we start getting, actual useful things. So it's funny. So like I said, in their first year, 12 running backs were able to give you at least 12 points per game. The second year, 11 running backs were able to do so. Wait, so that means that a running back that did it in his rookie season, scored 12 points per game, did not repeat that feat in the second year. Just one singular lonely running back. If you think you know who it is, go ahead and put it in the comments. I will give you a couple seconds. Okay, that was a couple seconds. The running back that did it was not able to repeat as a 12 points per game scorer in his second season, Mr. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Disappointing all around. Very, very disappointing. But actually, if you look at his rookie season, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't what we expected, obviously. And it was better than his second season, where he couldn't hit 12 points per game. A little sad, a little depressing. So his career went the wrong way. So he started out 13.5 points per game in his first year, almost hit the 12-point range in his second year, but didn't. And that's my cutoff for this particular mark. He scored 11.8 fantasy points per game. And then, 5 points per game in the 2 games he played last year, which was his fifth year. So anyway, he hasn't broken 10 points again since his second season. So he was the only running back. Only one second round running back, never played another game. And I mentioned earlier that, there was players like Darius Geis, or a player specifically, Darius Geis, who didn't play after his first season. Didn't matter. He didn't hit 12 points per game in his rookie season. Definitely never played. Well, not definitely, but never played again. I guess maybe there's an outside chance he could play again somewhere. Maybe, except that I watched the XFL. I've never seen him there. And I watched the CFL, also not there. Anywho, he scored 11.5 points per game in his rookie season. He also did not hit 12 points per game in his second year because he didn't play in his second year and he was a second rounder. So anyway, let's get back to the actual data and not the rambling. Darius Geis, bad. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, bad. Clyde Edwards-Helaire was first rounder, Geis the second rounder. Anyway, so first rounder still hit 12 points per game at a 79% clip. Second rounders did so at a 53% clip. And it's right around the same mark as they did in their first year. So at least they're consistent, right? You had 50% of the second round running backs hit 12 points per game in their rookie season. 53% hit that mark in the second season. But really, that's because you removed Darius Geis from the equation. Nothing else changed. Third rounders did see a leap too. So 21% of the third rounders drafted during this range, 2015 through 2023, scored at least 12 points per game in their rookie year. In their second season, that jumped to 34%. Fourth rounders, right? Fourth rounders, they weren't the next highest. It's funny. So as we go down these charts, every step of the way, I think that is, we'll check. And if I'm wrong, I'll correct myself. But every step of the way, it goes how you think it would, right? First rounders have the highest hit rate. Second rounders have the second highest. Third rounders have the third highest. Fourth rounders, no. This is where it starts getting wacky. Fourth rounders, every step of the way. Again, fourth rounders only give you 12 points per game in their second season, 9% of the time. Well below fifth rounders who do it 21% of the time, and also below seventh rounders who do it 18% of the time. Fourth rounders aren't really, what's the word I'm looking for? Again, it doesn't go in sequential order, right? First, second, third rounders, right in order. Fourth rounders, it gets kablooey. So fourth rounders, again, from what I can see, draft capital does not matter after the fourth round. But again, that's only through 12 points per game. I'll give you a hint, though. There probably is a good chance that it's going to continue to be that way. So 14 points per game. Our first round running backs. Beautiful, man. And this is another thing. The first rounders are super consistent, right? So in their first year, 9 running backs, 64%, were able to hit 14 points per game. In their second seasons, 9 running backs from the first round were able to hit 14 points per game. Second rounders did so at a 32% clip, as did third rounders. Third rounders start to pick up steam here, and you'll see, because we're going to go through it. But third rounders really increased significantly prior to the prior season. Third rounders were only able to hit 14 points per game at a 14% mark in their rookie year, but that climbs to 32% in their second year. That gives you the hope of holding on to running backs that don't hit that mark in their first year, that were drafted in the third round, because maybe they can do it. So again, fourth rounders, what is wrong with you? Get it together. Fourth rounders, 9% of the time, they gave you 14 points per game in their second season. Now, it is an increase over the 0 that did it in their rookie seasons, but it still sucks. Sucks bad. And it's worse than fifth rounders, who did it 11% of the time. It is better than sixth rounders who did it none percent of the time, but it's worse than seventh rounders. A theme, again, fourth rounders are worse than fifth and seventh rounders, at least based off the hit rate at 14 points per game. And if you didn't remember, they were also worse at 12 points per game. And if you didn't remember, they were also worse at 10 points per game. So 10, 12, 14 points per game. Fourth rounders are worse than fifth and seventh rounders. That ain't good, right? So let's jump to 16 points per game. 16 points per game. First rounders, there is a 50% chance that they will hit 16 points per game in their second year. They did so at 43% in their first year. It's a literal half the time you draft a first round running back, they're going to give you at least 16 points per game within their first 2 years. That's great. I don't know what else to say about that. It's just awesome. Second rounders do it at a 21% clip. Third rounders, again, do it at a 21% clip, again, matching the second rounders. So second and third rounders, once we get to that 14% range, they hit that mark at roughly the same percentage. Fourth rounders, none. They suck. Fifth rounders, there's one of them. So it beats the fourth rounder. Sixth rounders also suck, 0. And then seventh rounders also suck, but at least one of them, bettering the fourth rounders, was able to score 16 points per game. Again, I don't know how to keep saying this. Fourth round draft capital means absolutely nothing in comparison to fifth, sixth, seventh. Doesn't matter. Hi, Cam. Hi, Michelle Tootin. Use the hype. Anyway, 18 points per game. A very small percentage of anything outside of first rounders hit this mark. But first rounders are able to hit 18 points per game in their second season at a 43% clip. That's pretty good. It's actually double what they did in their first year when it was 21%. It's not half, but it's damn near half. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know math. 6 out of 14 running backs that were drafted during this range in the first round were able to at least give you 18 points per game, 43% of the time by their second seasons. That's good. Second rounders, not so much. Not so much. They were able to do it 5% of the time. Not great, Bob. Third rounders actually better than second rounders, 14% of the time. Oh, I found the win for fourth rounders, guys. 3% of the time, they were able to hit 18 points per game. That 3% works out to one running back. Fifth, sixth, and seventh rounders did not. They did not hit 18 points per game in their second season. So finally, a fourth rounder, no fourth rounders were able to give you 18 points per game. It was a fifth rounder that was able to do it in the second season, and that would have been Kyren Williams. So again, actually, fourth rounders gave you nothing, absolutely nothing. Well, not nothing, but they weren't able to give you 18 points per game, whereas a fifth rounder was, and that was the only one after the third round. So again, fourth rounders, I got your hopes up there. Sadly, I'm sorry, I was mistaken, but I corrected it. Yeah, no fourth rounders hit 18 points per game. So fourth rounders, really disappointed, guys. Not really happy with your production. Again, we thought, or the community, I should say, seems to think higher of you than they should. Just because you're a fourth rounder doesn't mean you're any better than a fourth rounder. Yeah, it doesn't mean if you're a fourth rounder, it doesn't mean you're better or more likely to score higher than a fifth, sixth, or seventh rounder. So there's that. All right, some key takeaways. Takeaways. Sell your soul for any running back drafted in the first round. I know there was only 2 this year. Do it, dude. Whatever you need to do, or ma'am, whatever you need to do to get one of them, do it. Within reason. But if you need to add to Quinshon Judkins, if you need to add to Quinshon Judkins, Caleb Johnson, I damn near say even RJ Harvey, and that might get me shot in the DD community. Don't tell them, but even RJ Harvey, dude, add to them and see what it takes to get that Omarion Hampton. I ain't crazy. You're not getting Genty unless you add a whole boatload. So at least Omarion Hampton could probably be someone that you target. Second rounders, if you're not able to move Quinshon or RJ Harvey and you're stuck with them, air quotes, they're still solid bets to give you at least 12 points per game in their second year, 53% of the time. All right. And it's not out of the question that they can give you a 16-point season. Again, 16-point seasons, second rounders did it 21% of the time, as did third rounders. Again, third rounders, when you're looking at 10 points and 12 points per game from a percentage perspective, they hit those rates lower than second rounders. But after that, when we get to the 14 and 16 point range, they actually match or exceed second rounders. And then by a 4-to-1 margin, they are more likely to give you 18 points per game. 4-to-1, literally 4-to-1. Like, that's not hyperbole. Again, outside of the top 3 rounds, fifth round running backs seem to give you your best shot at 10 and 12 points per game. Fifth and seventh rounders give you your best chance at 14 and 16 points per game. And apparently one fifth rounder gave you 18 points per game. But again, remember, this is minuscule, right? Like the amount of running backs from those rounds, anything through the 4th through the 7th, the chances that they're going to hit at least 14 points per game are pretty low. Like I said, 11%, 12%, 14 points per game. When you're looking at 16 points per game, a 4% chance of 5th rounders, 6% chance of 7th rounders, a none percent chance when you're looking at 18 points per game, except for Mr. Kyron Williams, who did it, and he was a 5th rounder. Let's see if there's any other notes. I will say this. All right. So I don't want anyone acting like, oh, I'm thinking that this is the end all be all. It's definitely not that, right? It's just a piece of the puzzle. I would say this. I mean, you could just look at first rounders, and I don't need any more information other than they were drafted in the first round. That running back is going to smash, and I will do anything I need to get them on my team. Second rounders, maybe you want to dig a little deeper. But still, half the time, it looks like they are giving you good production. Third rounders, it drops a little bit, right? Everything after the 3rd round is just garbage. 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. And again, first rounders, that's a known quantity. So I'd say draft capital helps you, I don't want to say weed out, but it lets you know that first rounders are going to smash. 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. No. It's very unlikely, highly unlikely. Is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? Not. That's not a word. Absolutely not. There you go. Second and third rounders. Maybe you want to dig in a little more and see what else is in there, right? Because like I said, just looking at draft capital, that might not be all that we need to look at. As a matter of fact, I'll say that right now. It's not all that we need to look at when we're looking at those, right? Obviously, landing spot is going to be very, very important. As opposed to, again, 4th rounders, we tell ourselves a story. Hey, this 4th rounder's got a great landing spot. That probably means that there's an easy path to relevance for them. Well, there's not. That's it. So again, just looked at the first year and second year of running back production based off draft capital. And I generally only look at the first 2 years, right, for a lot of positions. And the reason I do that is because in dynasty football, we tend to make up our minds on players after about 2 years. If a player has not hit a certain threshold, if a running back has not scored at least 12 points per game in their first or second year, there's a pretty good chance that we're going to move on from them as a community. Also, just keep in mind, I'm not saying that 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th rounders don't have value, right? Because they can be spot starters, which has value. They can be pieces that you use in trades because of the narrative. It's just I would not go into it expecting production. So I appreciate you watching. I will be off next week. I hope everybody has an absolutely great week or weeks until I see you, and everyone take care of yourselves. Bye.